All right, today was Tuesday, January 27. Had a net profit of 308. Two trades, one a bit smaller, obviously. Profit $33, 9% ROI. Bigger trade, 19% ROI, profit 275. Let's go into the trade so you can see. I ended up having about 300 contracts. This was a bit choppier, but I kept buying on these pullbacks. Ended up selling everything around here. Let's go into why I took the trade. So pre-market, I had. Oh, we got to rewind real quick. Start new. Today was Tuesday, right? 27. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. This is still not. All right, here we go. So, pre-market, I marked out previous day high, previous day low. Got liquidity up here on a bigger time frame. You can see that. We'll go to 1 hour. All right, so bigger time frame up there. Got some liquidity down here that I marked out. Let's get back to the 3-minute. All right, so this is where we were pre-market. And then this is where we were pre-market on NQ. I won't erase these just yet. We'll leave that. But so I was pretty much just watching the 5-minute and 3-minute. I think the 5-minute fair value gap ended up appearing for me first. We'll check that out. So let's just get it right into it. Got market open. Boom, got our 3-minute fair value gap. And then I was also watching the 5-minute. So we got this nice 5-minute right here. I should have just been trading off of this 3, and I'll give you an example of how I could have done that. But I just paid attention to the 5-minute. It looked a lot cleaner. But the 3 would have caught a nice move and a lot faster. Would have been out of the trade a lot faster. So let's watch this. So right here, I always say I trade off this first fair value gap, right? I got the fair value gap, and then this would have been my confirmation candle. This confirmation candle breaking the fair value gap. This is still a thing to me, right? It's still a price point of interest. Now, since it broke it, I would have been waiting for a confirmation candle. If the confirmation candle to the upside looked good, I could have been like, all right, well, now I'm just going to go to the upside stop loss below this fair value gap. Should I have done that? Yes, we'll see that in a second. But at this point, I just started paying attention to the 5-minute. Right. So I'll show you that. Let's go back. So now I would be looking for a confirmation to the upside. This would not have been it. Obviously, this is not very convincing to go to the upside. I would have considered this a good confirmation. I think what stopped me out and why I didn't enter it and why I just focused on the 5-minute is since I paid attention to the 5-minute and I drew this fair value gap at, I was kind of psyched out thinking, all right, well, could this be a fake out? You know, we could get rejected the 5-minute, and I wasn't really paying attention to this one anymore. And as you can see on the 5-minute, it was the same thing pretty much. It came back in, filled the fair value gap. Now here I would have been looking for a confirmation candle to the upside. And you can see we ended up getting that, and it was huge. Now imagine if we were in the 3-minute, right? This would have been the confirmation. Well, it entered around this close, stop loss below the 3-minute, and we would have been out of this trade already. I can give you an example of that. What if Well, I'll show you that after. We'll focus on this. So now, to the trade I actually took, I got a close above the 5-minute fair value gap I had drawn out, and then a good confirmation. So I entered right here, and we'll watch how that plays out. Now I'm buying in all these pullbacks, and I actually got real pissed right here and got psyched. I ended up closing the trade or about 200 of the contracts around here instead of holding. And then I think I closed a bit of the last 100 around down here. So I cut my losses. I could have made about like $600-700 on the day. I ended up taking about half that. So, and then as you can see, price came right back. And that was it. It looked real clean on the 5 minute. I should have just been paying attention to the 5 minute. But once I entered the trade, I was looking at the 1 minute, 2 minute, and it was playing with my feelings a little bit. But I want to go back to what I usually trade. Usually trade the 3 minute fair value gap. You'll see that in the other trade recaps. Now, if I would have just paid attention to this 3 minute, right? We'll get rid of this. We'll get rid of this. We'll get rid of this. And I'll show you exactly how the trade would have played out. And we'll go back to market open. Again, before market, pre-market, I set up my previous day high, previous day low. So these are prices I'm looking at, right? 627, 622, 636, 610, depending on if I'm going to the upside or downside. Now, this was the day prior. So, damn, did I go far back? That far back? I did. All right. Boom. Fast forward. I'm going to show you where QQQ price was at when I would have entered this 3 minute trade. So you can see the move you would have caught trading the 3 minute fair value gap that I do pretty much every day. Today I deviated a little bit, but it was okay. All right. Let's see. All right, so we would have got market open, and we're waiting for the first 3 minute fair value gap to appear. That's all I do. Fair value gap, confirmation, trade, in and out. I would have marked this out. Cool. Now I would want a confirmation to the downside, or you'll see what we got instead. Clearly not a good confirmation to the downside. So I consider this still a valid move right now. Now we're reversing to the upside. So I would just want a confirmation candle to the upside now. Didn't get one. Wait for the next one to close. This would have been my confirmation. Now we would have gone long around the close, right? I usually give it about like 15 seconds before the candle closes to enter. My stop loss is always below the fair value gap. And I go for a 1-to-1. Right? Entering this with QQQ options, right? I would have been buying 627s, which are already in the money, and I would have been buying 636. Now you could have bought any strike price in here, you would have made a profit. So we're buying right when price is at 628. Remember, these are in the money already, and these were in the money when I bought them. I was actually up more on this, but I sold it on pullback. I just didn't want to hold it. The contracts were like $100-something a piece or something like that. And then when I was buying these, they were about $5 a pop. So, and those were the further out priced options. So we're at 628.72 when we would have entered the trade. Now look how quickly you would have been out of this. If you're trading NQ futures, this obviously works the best, but I've just been having my luck with options recently, and also been passing my prop firms using the same strategy. What would price have been? Right, so you would have we entered here. You could have caught that $1 move, and that would have been it. You would have been done for the day. Now, what's interesting, what I might want to start applying later on, which I could have done today, is recognizing, okay, well, I got the 5 minute fair value gap right here. And we're coming up. And if I'm only trading off this, right, I would have been like, okay, now I just need that good confirmation, go to the upside. And I got it. Now, if I wanted to enter here, stop loss here, Now I'll move my take profit and then start watching the 5 minute to set up. If the 5 minute starts looking good, and oh, well, that was an accident. I was basically saying I could trade my take profit based off of the 5 minute, where I would have entered on the 5 minutes. So let's say I would have entered here. This is going to look a little confusing. Entered here, stop loss here. Go for a 1-to-1. Right. I would have had to have done this. It would have been a little confusing with doing it live. But considering same entry on the 3 minute, stop loss it based on the 3 minute trade, getting that 5 minute confirmation, right? And putting my take profit based off of where I would have entered if I entered on the 5 minute, if that makes sense. Right. And did we get that? No, we didn't. So never mind. Oh, we did. We did close out about right here. So 11:15. That would have been cool. But I just go for 1-to-1. So all right. There's a trade recap for the day. Yeah. Hope you guys learned something. If not, this is just my trade recap. So later.